Have you ever noticed strange shadows at night? Or maybe you've heard stories about mysterious creatures hiding in the dark. Today, we'll uncover the truth about the beast that drains livestock of every drop of blood, meet a bird that dies in flames only to be reborn, and discover the secrets of Japan's dream-eating monsters. The Chupacabra has been terrorizing farms since the 1990s, leaving behind corpses with mysterious puncture wounds. The Sphinx has captivated humanity for over 4,500 years with its cycle of death and rebirth. And deep in Japanese folklore, there's a creature that literally feeds on your nightmares. But that's not all. We'll solve the riddles of Egypt's ancient Sphinx, face the terrifying Oni demons with their blood-red skin and razor-sharp horns, and finally reveal the Norse lindworm, a serpent dragon so convincing that people built statues using real prehistoric bones. From blood-sucking monsters to immortal firebirds, from nightmare eaters to dragons that actually existed, these 6 creatures will make you question everything you thought you knew about myths and legends. Stick around for the full story. Japanese demon Oni, a fearsome creature with bright red or blue skin, massive horns, and a terrifying expression. These beings are an essential part of Japanese legends, folklore, and even modern culture. But who are the Oni really? The first mentions of Oni appeared in ancient Japanese texts, such as Nihon Shoki from 720 AD and Kojiki from 712 AD. In early depictions, Oni were spirits of the underworld, supernatural beings responsible for punishing sinners. Over time, their image evolved and changed. They became large humanoid monsters resembling Western ogres or trolls. Picture a creature standing over 7 feet tall, with bulging muscles, wild hair, and fangs that could tear through bone. In Japanese Buddhist tradition, Oni often played the role of guardians of hell, punishing evildoers for their sins. They would drag sinful souls to the underworld and torture them for eternity. These demons carried massive iron clubs called kanabo, which they used to crush their enemies. Their appearance alone was enough to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who saw them. Although Oni are mythical creatures, people have told stories of encounters with them for centuries. Some Japanese villages believe that Oni lived in the mountains or deep forests, emerging at night to frighten travelers or steal livestock. They were blamed for natural disasters, diseases, and unexplained deaths. Even today, Japanese culture preserves festivals like Setsubun, where people throw beans and shout Oni wa Soto, which means demons out, to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune to their homes. Online, you can also find photographs and stories of alleged Oni sightings, but these are most likely myths, artistic interpretations, or costumes used in traditional festivals. Today, the image of Oni is everywhere in anime, manga, movies, and video games. Oni appear in popular works like Naruto, Demon Slayer, Onimusha, and even in traditional tattoos that cover entire backs. However, they are no longer just demons representing pure evil. They have become complex characters symbolizing not only evil and destruction, but also power, retribution, protection, and even misunderstood outcasts seeking redemption. The next creature we will talk about is the mysterious Baku, the Japanese dream eater. It is not just a mythical beast, but an ancient guardian that protects people from nightmares. Unlike many demons and spirits, Baku does not instill fear. Instead, it serves as a keeper of peaceful sleep. Legends of Baku date back to the 14th century in Japan. Descriptions of this creature varied greatly depending on the region and the story being told. In some stories, it appeared as a hybrid of different animals, an elephant's head and trunk, tiger's paws with sharp claws, a bear's massive body, and an ox's tail. In other sources, it was described more like a giant mystical tapir with glowing yellow eyes that could see into your dreams. Its size also changed depending on the tale, from the size of an ordinary beast to a towering giant capable of covering a person completely in its shadow. So, how does the Baku work? According to ancient Japanese tradition, if you had a terrible nightmare, you could call upon the Baku for help. It was believed that if you said aloud before sleeping, "Baku, devour my dream," the creature would come and consume your nightmare, preventing evil from entering your mind. The bad dream would be eaten, and you would wake up refreshed and at peace. However, there was a serious warning that came with summoning the Baku. If the creature remained hungry after eating your nightmare, it might not stop there. It could take not only bad dreams, but also good ones, leaving a person with a dreamless void. Imagine never dreaming again. No adventures, no flying, no reunions with loved ones. Just empty, black sleep. That's why people were careful about when and how often they called upon the Baku. But can Baku be encountered in real life? Of course, there is no direct evidence of its existence. However, its image is widespread in Japanese culture. You can see depictions of Baku on protective amulets, ancient scrolls, and as carved figurines in temples. In modern Japan, it appears in anime, manga, and even as plush toys, continuing to protect children's dreams. Baku is one of the rare mythical creatures that people do not fear, but rather call upon for help. Now let's talk about one of the most fascinating creatures in all of European mythology, the lindworm. This isn't your typical fire-breathing dragon. The lindworm is a serpent-like dragon from Norse and Germanic folklore, and here's the twist. Parts of this legend were actually based on real prehistoric bones. The lindworm, also called lindorm or lindworm depending on the region, has terrified northern Europe for over 1,000 years. In most descriptions, it's depicted as a massive serpent with either 2 front legs or no legs at all, forcing it to slither across the ground like a giant snake. Some versions give it wings, while others describe it as purely earthbound. Its body is covered in thick scales, with a horse-like mane running down its spine and venomous spit that could kill a man instantly. In legends, lindworms were often very large and extremely dangerous. They ate cattle and even invaded churchyards, consuming the dead from cemeteries. Villages lived in terror of these beasts. According to legend, everything that lies under a lindworm will increase as the creature grows, which gave rise to tales of dragons hoarding treasure to become richer. One of the most famous lindworm legends involves the Viking king Ragnar Lothbrok. The story goes that a young woman received a baby lindworm as a gift. She kept it as a pet, but it grew so massive that it eventually encircled her father's entire hall, holding her hostage and demanding 1 ox per day as tribute. Ragnar, a clever warrior, covered himself in tar-soaked fur to protect against the beast's venom and killed it, winning the woman's hand in marriage. But here's where myth meets reality. In 1335, near Klagenfurt, Austria, workers found a massive skull in a quarry. They had no idea what it was, so they assumed it must be a dragon skull. In 1590, they used this skull as the model for the head of a lindworm statue that still stands today. Centuries later, scientists identified the skull as belonging to a woolly rhinoceros. This statue is now cited as the earliest reconstruction of an extinct animal in history. Additionally, well into the 19th century, Swedish folklorist Gunnar Olof Hilton Cavalius collected over 50 eyewitness reports from people in Sweden who claimed they had encountered giant snakes, sometimes equipped with long manes, matching lindworm descriptions. He even offered a cash reward for a captured specimen, dead or alive, but no one ever claimed it. Mythical creatures have always fascinated humanity. From blood-sucking beasts to immortal firebirds, these legends continue to captivate us. So here's my question for you. Which of these 6 creatures do you think could actually exist? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories.